What is the difference between anti and counter? Making negative words in English. If you want to improve your vocabulary in English, one of the best things you can do is to study the most common prefixes and suffixes for English words. Knowing what they mean will not only help you to remember more words, but it will also give you the ability to guess the meanings of words that you haven't seen before. Today, I'm going to talk about the difference between two prefixes, anti and counter. Both of them are used to make negative words, and there is some overlap in their meanings, but there are also some subtle differences. The meanings of anti. Anti can be attached to nouns and adjectives. In some cases, it can be attached to entire phrases. I will cover 5 different senses of anti that are common in modern English. They are an alternative to or a rival of. Some examples are antichrist and antipope. An antipope is a person who claims to be the Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church, but isn't. An antipope is a rival to the true Pope. Another sense is opposed to the expected form of. An example is an anti-hero. This is a person who plays a central character that we normally expect from a hero, but who lacks the positive characteristics that we associate with a hero. An anti-hero is not the hero we expected to see. Another sense is the reverse of. This sense is used in physics in words like antimatter or antiproton. When a proton collides with an antiproton, they destroy each other. Another sense is opposed to or opponent of. Examples of this sense are often used in politics. A person who is anti-war is opposed to war. A person who's opposed to capitalism is an anti-capitalist. The opposite of this sense of anti is pro. Pro-business would be to support business, while anti-business would be to oppose business. Another sense is used against, inhibits, or neutralizes. An example is an anti-aircraft gun. This is a gun that's used for fighting against aircraft. There are many examples from medicine. An antibacterial soap is a type of soap that kills bacteria. Beauty products often claim that they are anti-wrinkle. They claim to stop your skin from developing wrinkles. Anti is originally from Greek. It shouldn't be confused with the prefix ante, spelled A-N-T-E, which is from Latin and means before. The meanings of counter. Counter can be attached to verbs, nouns, and adjectives. Counter comes from Old French. There are 3 different senses of the prefix counter that are common in modern English. They are to do an opposing action of a similar type. An example is counter-revolution. Imagine that you have a government that came to power because of a revolution. A group of people who don't support the government start another revolution to destroy and replace the current government. This is a counter-revolution. It's a revolution that opposes another revolution. Another example is counterattack. If an army is attacked, they will respond with an attack of their own. Another sense is to be in an opposite position. An example is countersign. One person signs a document, and then another person signs the same document on the opposite side of the page. Another example is counterbalance. If 2 children are playing on a seesaw, the weight of one child counterbalances the other. Another sense is to be the opposite of what is expected. An example is counterproductive. When an action is counterproductive, it produces the opposite result from what was expected. Imagine that a government raises the tax on alcohol to discourage people from drinking. If the result is an increase in illegal alcohol sales, then the tax was counterproductive. It not only did not produce the desired result, it also produced a different and undesired result. Comparisons. Now let's compare the two prefixes. Where can the meanings of anti and counter overlap? One example is with the words counterclockwise and anticlockwise. The first is more common in North America, and the second is more common in British English. The meaning of the two words is the same. They mean movement in the opposite direction of a clock's hands. In this case, both prefixes mean the opposite of something. Despite the overlap in counterclockwise and anticlockwise, don't assume that these prefixes are interchangeable. Let's examine how anti and counter change the same word. If I attach these prefixes to the word revolutionary, the meanings are not the same. Anti-revolutionary activity would involve stopping revolutionary activity. For example, if a government stopped people from gathering in large groups to protest, that would be anti-revolutionary. The government is trying to stop or inhibit revolutionary activity. This is different from counter-revolutionary activity. An example of counter-revolutionary activity would be violent action against a government that came to power because of a revolution. It is opposing one revolution with a different one. Conclusion. To recap, anti can be attached to nouns and adjectives. In some cases, it can be attached to entire phrases. Counter can be attached to verbs, nouns, and adjectives. While dictionaries will show the meaning of both prefixes as the opposite of something, there can be some subtle differences between their meanings. Anti can have an idea of stopping, inhibiting, or neutralizing something. Counter doesn't. In physics, when a proton collides with an antiproton, they destroy each other. Counter can have an idea of conflict between opposing forces of a similar type. A counter-revolution is an opposing revolution that comes in conflict with an earlier revolution. Thank you for listening. This is Christine with Difficult English Explained.